Dear Sakyamuni Buddha, so loud. Please sit together and we will come back to our breathing. Breathing in, I invite the Buddha, invite Thầy to breathe with us. Breathing out, I smile. I know Buddha, Thầy is here with me. Please come back to your breathing. Thầy is breathing with you, and the Buddha is breathing with you. Breathing in, I'm breathing with the Buddha and Thầy lungs. Breathing out, I smile with Buddha and Thầy inside of me. Breathing in, I am sitting with Buddha and Thei's back. Breathing out, I smile to the Buddha and Thầy that's inside of me. Dear, thank you, Sangha. Dear Sakyamuni Buddha, dear respected Thầy, dear Sangha. Today is the 24th of April 2022. We are in the Ocean of Peace Meditation Hall of Newport Monastery, California. Today I have a chance to sit here and share with you. I'm happy to sit here and to be protected by the Sangha, the fourfold Sanghas, the monastic brother and sister, and also our friends in the spirits of the Buddhism. We practice the fourfold Sangha. It's not just limited to monastics, but also for friends. In the chanting book for every day, There is the Sutra Quy Nguyện, taking refuge.
The chant, taking refuge.
In the taking refuge chant, there's phrasing the three jewels, coming back to the three jewels, to take refuge in the three jewels: Buddha, Sangha, and Dharma. The sutra talk about Buddha is the one that shows us the way with full enlightened insight and compassion. He always have understanding and compassion, great compassion, great insight. And after the Buddha is the Dharma. Dharma is the path that shows us to liberation, bring us back to the waking life. Because of the Dharma, we have a chance to study and also transform inside of us. And that is, and now is the Sangha. Sangha is a body that we walk together on a joyful, happy path. Practice, liberate, to bring peace and happiness to the world. And when I recite these, I feel happy inside of me. We are a Sangha. We hold our hand together so that we can walk on the joyful path. Today, I would like to share about taking refuge in the Sangha and why do we need to take refuge in the Sangha. When the Buddha, he was enlightened, he did not have a Sangha. After he sat for 49 days, he made the vow to share his teachings to the world. And when he shared his teaching to the first two friends had offered to him, and then at that time, it was only the Buddha and the Dharma, but there wasn't a Sangha yet. Until he went to Deport Monastery in India, not this one. And he shared his teaching to the 5 brothers. And after that, they became his students. And they became the first Sangha. And that is when the 3 jewels was formed: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The 3 precious jewels. We are living in a Sangha, and everyone come back to ourselves to practice. Sangha is the building a community that everyone come together and practice together. And we have the aspiration to go on the same path so that we can practice and study together. Sangha is not just a term. It's not a term only for monastics, but it's a community for all people, for all beings. In the practice of the Sangha, there is a strength, a great strength. It's called Sangha strength. Strength is a kind of energy, like we have electrical energy. It gives a lot of energy, electrical energy out. And in the Buddhism, there is the 5 power: faith, diligence, insight, mindfulness, and concentration. But we will not go into that. But we're just going to go into the strength, the power of the Sangha. In the Sanskrit, it's called Bala, Sangha. So it's Sangha Bala. It's the strength of the community of a Sangha. A Sangha is not an individual. Just like when the Buddha was enlightened, he was only one person, so that did not consider a Sangha. A Sangha is a group of people come together and practice together, and that is a Sangha. So the strength of the Sangha is great, and it helps us. It supports us. It supports us to transform that we cannot yet transform. And that is the strength of the Sangha that can help us. And it also protect us for not falling down, falling out into a suffering before the suffering that had happened before we came to the Sangha. We had suffered so much. So the strength of the Sangha can help us overcome our afflictions. There are things that we can do as an individual. We can do it, but it's more difficult, more challenging to do as an individual. But when we do it with a group of people, a Sangha, it becomes effortless. In PV, Palm Village tradition, we have the practice of listening to the bell. When we listen to the bell, we stop and breathe to come back to ourselves. And that is a chance for us to be aware of ourselves more. And if we're at home, if there's not the environment of listening to the bell all the time, and if we listen, sometimes we just kind of listen, but we don't pay attention to it. But when you come to the monastery, when you listen to the wake-up bell or the clock chime, or you hear the telephone ring, because you already know the practice, you're able to stop together with the Sangha when you're in the monastery. So when we practice stopping and coming back to ourselves, is a bell of mindfulness for everyone around us. Therefore, it becomes easier when we are practicing as a community. For example, if someone invites the bell and the person is near the bell, they probably hear more clear, so they're able to stop before the person that's far away, because the far away person cannot hear so well. So this applies for all bells. And when we stop and practice, we are a bell of mindfulness, and that is the most important reminder for each other. Therefore, when we're practicing by ourselves, it's more challenging, it's more efforts. And that is why we need a Sangha. At home, we don't have a Sangha, we don't have people to practice with. But that doesn't mean we cannot practice. We can create a Sangha at home with our family members, like our children, partners or relative or friends, and we can practice with them. And if we can share with our loved one what we had learned here, then we can bring mindfulness to our community at home. Sangha do not fall off from the sky, but it's also not an individual that create a Sangha, but it's the collective offering to the community, to the group that create the Sangha. So each members in the group, we have the responsibility to nourish our Sangha so that we can be nourished when we nourish our Sangha. So it goes both ways. When we nourish ourselves, we nourish our Sangha, and when we nourish our Sangha, we nourish ourselves. And that is called interbeing. We are the Sangha, and the Sangha is... We are the Sangha, and the Sangha is us. How do we live together, practice together, so that we can support our friends? We are interconnected, intertwined. We also learn how we can offer to our Sangha, how we can support our Sangha when it's up or when it's down. If we able to be aware of that, we can be more cautious. We can be more cautious about our action that we create in the Sangha. When the energy of the Sangha is steady and solid, we feel more space inside of us, feel more free, and we feel more supported. The more we practice mindfulness, the bigger mindfulness is inside of us, it grows, then our Sangha will also, energy will also grow. And we're not doing this just for ourselves, but we're doing it for the whole community. We are very lucky to have an environment to practice. We are also very lucky to be a person, to human being. There are many beings doesn't have, not as lucky as us. Like for example, the ants, horse, they are living, but they don't have the part of the brain where we can understand the Dharma to practice and to transform our suffering. That has been piled up long time inside of us. I remember the Buddha has shared, to be a human being is very difficult. Many lifetimes, and we are, it's as auspicious that we are a human being right now. It's like the example of a turtle that is swimming in the ocean And then there is a piece of wood that has a hole inside of the plank. And the turtle tried to find a way to put his head inside of that hole, all floating in the ocean. And this turtle cannot see. The turtle is blind and is able to fit the head inside of the hole of the plank to swim. So you see how difficult it is for that turtle. So to be a human being, to be able to be a human being is even more difficult than that. Because of our habit energy, it takes us to many directions. So to have a chance to be a human being is very rare. When you try to put the thread through the needle, it's very difficult because the hole is so small, especially when your eye is weak. Like my eyes, if I don't have glasses, I cannot put the thread through the hole of the needle. And imagine if that needle is on top of a mountain and there's wind on the mountain, and try to put that thread through that needle on the mountain with the winds. This is another image how difficult as a human being to become a human being. So we should be grateful. We should be grateful that we have a chance to be a human being so that we can practice and to transform our afflictions. We treasure it not to get ourselves trapped into desires, but we treasure it. We take care of it so that we can have time to practice. To live in harmony with the Sangha, with the company, with the community, the Buddha has taught about the Six Harmonies. And I will write it down so that you can study more. The Six Harmonies. The six ways to live together in harmony.
Thứ nhất là thân hòa đồng
First one is harmony in living.
Thứ nhì là lợi hòa đồng quân.
Lợi là gì?
Harmony in sharing.
Second one, harmony in sharing.
Thứ ba là giới hòa đồng tụ.
The third one is harmony in precepts or harmony in mindfulness trainings.
Tư là khẩu hòa vô tranh.
Speech. Fourth one is harmony in speech.
Thứ năm là kiến hòa đồng giải.
Fifth one is harmony in thoughts.
Và thứ sáu là ý hòa đồng duyệt. Point of view.
Harmony in views. And the sixth one is harmony in views.
Cũng có một vài tài liệu con
When I was doing research,
cái thứ tự
the orders, it can be changed.
như là ở trong cái bản của ông Hạnh Cơ,
like in the Hanke.
số 2 là lợi hòa đồng
When I
quân,
did research,
thì nó được vô là số 4, ông sẽ cho xuống nó là số 4.
like for example, the second one could be the fourth.
Và giới hòa đồng tu thì được lên
Or
số
number
2.
3, harmony in precept, it can be number 2.
Và khẩu hòa vô chánh thì nó sẽ nằm xuống số 5.
And harmony in speech could be number
Kiến hòa
5.
đồng giải thì nó là số 2. Nhưng mà dù là cái số thứ tự này có thay đổi như thế nào, nhưng mà mục đích chính
So the order of the harmony can be in different order, but they should all be there.
Nên cái vấn đề mà thay đổi cái số thứ tự
So the
này
change,
thì nó không có ảnh hưởng gì nhiều trong cái vấn đề mà mình thực tập lục hòa.
the change in orders, it does not affect our practices in the Six Harmonies. When the Buddha taught the Six Harmonies, to build harmony in the Sangha, but to bring it to more realities, it's not the Six Harmony. It's not only for the monastic Sangha, but it can also practice by our friends. Like at home, you can also practice the Six Harmonies so that you can be more happy, bring more happiness to your family or the society that you're in. If you apply the Six Harmonies, it can bring you more happiness and also advance in your community. I like to share
bào chế ra
how
cái sáu
these six harmonies were come about
có sự việc xảy ra xích mích
when there were conflict
giữa thầy kinh sư
between the
thầy luật sư
precept and the
hiểu lầm ở giữa hai bên thôi thầy kinh sư
Precept master
thầy
and
luật sư
sutra
thôi
master.
yes, there was conflict between the precept and the sutra master,
tu viện chỗ đó và Đức Thế
and
công viên Đông Trúc thì lúc
they
đó
cannot
ngài đi vào đó thì ngài
resolve it, and they didn't need the Buddha help, so they say Buddha should go somewhere else so they can figure on their own. So he went to this place and he saw
em họ của thái tử Tất Đạt Đa, tức là
a monk who was a cousin of the Buddha before he became the Buddha.
và ngài Kim Tỳ La và
And there was the brother named Kim Tỳ La and Nadajin.
Đức Thế Tôn đi vào đó thì cho vị
And
mời Đức Thế Tôn ngồi.
there was another monk, and the three monks asked the Buddha to sit down.
Quý vị ở đây có ai
And the Buddha asked them, "Are you happy? Are you peaceful here? Is there any difficulties in the arm round?"
Đức Thế Tôn chúng con
And the monks had shared that we are very happy. We live very happily together.
và Đức Thế Tôn hỏi tiếp theo một câu là
And
quý vị sống ở đây có hòa hợp.
the Buddha asked, "Do you live in harmony with each other?" And the monk Alamak say, "We do live in harmony with each other. I live with my two brothers, and we are, although we are three, we live like we were one.
Những cái gì mà con nghĩ rằng là
And whatever I say or do,
mà hai vị sư huynh của con mà không có mặt, mặc dù là không có mặt, nhưng mà khi mà
where I also represent them whatever I say and do.
sẽ buồn lòng
And if I felt that I would say something that would hurt my other brothers, I would not say it."
quý vị sống hòa hợp như vậy thì đúng
And
tinh thần của một
the Buddha say,
và sau khi Đức
if you live in harmony like that, then that is the true Sangha.
sát những cái sinh hoạt
So he stayed with the three brothers for 1 month, and he observed them.
tôi mới thấy rằng là sau giờ thiền tọa buổi sáng thì quý
He
vị
saw that after the morning meditation, they went for the arm round,
thì rằng là vị nào
and whoever came back first, they would prepare the drink for the other brothers and also prepare the basin to wash their hands.
rồi xong rồi là đi thọ trai để sẵn một cái chậu sạch ở đó
And there is
chậu sạch
a bowl, an empty bowl, and whoever have more food that they needed, they would leave the food in that empty bowl so that the one that came back later need those food, then they can use it to eat.
để cho đủ bữa. Đó là tại sao và sau đó thì đi thọ trai rồi những vị mà về sau
And the one that came later,
bình bát của mình đã có đủ rồi á, thì không phải lấy thêm thức ăn ở cái chậu để
and if they have enough food, then they would not take the food in the leftover bowl,
thọ trai xong á,
the sharing bowl.
vị nào á mà thấy rằng là bình nước uống mà ít á, thì họ tự động đi lấy.
If the water basin for drinking need to refill, then they will just do it without asking. Or if they see that the restroom need to be clean, then they would just do it. They would not need to ask anyone.
Cần tới 2 hoặc 3 người mà mới làm được á.
And if any work that need 2 or 3 people, then they would ask for support.
Ai phải nói với ai là huynh phải làm cái này, đệ phải làm cái kia, phải thế nọ thế kia, hay không ai phải làm, tự mình tự giác.
Each individual were fully aware what needs to be done, and they do it without asking.
Quan sát như vậy rồi
And that's what the Buddha has observed. And after that, he had created the Six Harmonies. And that was how this sutra or this six practices has come about. So I would like to go to number 1 now. Harmony in living is mean we share the space that we're practicing together. During the Buddha time, when they live in the forest, they have to share the forest. In the community, we accept all individuals that's living in the space. And that is the basics for harmony in living. We need to accept for that person to live in that space with everyone. And that's how we create harmony. If we have a practicing space like a monastery, but we only accept a certain individual or a certain group, then that is not in harmony. Even though that person might be living with us, but within us there's no acceptance, then the harmony is not available in that community. The second one is harmony in sharing. That means that whatever we have, we share. We share with everyone equally. When we live in the community, everyone have the right to receive what is given to us, and also to receive what we needed. And we don't use our own power to not allow the other person to have what they need. And we don't keep something to ourselves just because we want it or we like it. Because whatever is offering to the Sangha, it belongs to the Sangha. We don't keep it to ourselves. We preserve it. We preserve it so we can share with everyone. And that is the second harmony. Harmony in sharing. In a family member, there are a father and a mother, and then two childs. Maybe sometime there might be a family that has 9 family members, 9 children or 13. So sometimes the parent might like a certain child more than others. But because maybe there is a child that love you more, listen to you more, maybe naturally you just love that person more. So I don't know if that's correct what I say if you have family. And sometimes it's not very obvious
Thì đôi khi mà
that
có
we
một
love
lần
the
cảm
one
thấy
child more than
hay
others.
là mình cũng để dành cho cái đứa này nhiều hơn một tí.
For
Ví
example,
dụ như là có một chùm nho, nhưng
we
mà mình
have
sẽ lựa cái chùm nho ngon ngon hơn
many
chút, mình dành
grapes,
cho cô A.
and maybe
Cái chùm
we
này thì mình
choose
dành cho B, C,
the grapes
thì
that
dành
are
cho
more
chùm này.
delicious for the one that we
Nó
love
có một
more.
chút gì đó thiên vị. Thì trong cái
So
loại hoa
in
tầm
the
tâm
harmony
này
of
là
sharing,
mình
everyone,
mọi người đều bình
we
đẳng.
share to everyone equally.
Mình không có nên thiên vị, mình không có nên lấy cái tinh thần thiên vị mà mình để vào đó.
We should not use our bias
Mình để phân
to
mình không thương người kia.
offer this person more or less,
Như
or
vậy,
offer
chính vì cái
this
sự đó cho
person
nên nó
the
có
best
cái
and the
sự
other person
sai biệt.
less.
Nó có cái sự phân bì ở giữa những đứa con của mình. Thì đó là những cái nguyên nhân để cho anh chị em.
And that is one of the reasons why you can have disharmony in the community, in the Sangha.
Cũng vậy.
We are a practitioner. We are not saint. We are humans, so we are on the way to transformation. So those bias might come up, so we need to recognize it and be equanimity to everyone. If we live in that way, then the harmony in the family and the Sangha is present. The number 3, harmony in precept or mindfulness trainings. This means we practice the same trainings or guidelines that is agreed among us. We need to practice all the trainings and the guidelines that is created. The first Sangha, the Buddha Sangha, there were not any precepts. It was created after 12 years. The precept was created because someone has broken a precept, did something that is not in harmony with the Sangha. So the first precept was created. He did not create precept in advance so that we can follow it. But the precepts were created because something had happened in the Sangha. So he created the precepts so that in the future that we don't run into the same problem again. And there are differences in trainings. For example, the monastic have different trainings and the lay friend have different trainings. Also, we have 5, we have 14 mindfulness trainings, but the core is similar. So if we receive the precepts, the trainings, we should practice together. And that is why the monastery, Deer Park Monastery, the first week of the month, we recite the trainings so that we can practice together, remind each other. The 5 mindfulness training, the 14 mindfulness trainings. And the monastics also recite our trainings. It's all to remind us that we had made the vow to do this, so that our practice can be supported. And each retreat, we transmit the trainings. Just like the wake up last time, there are more than 100 friends that came, and many of them received the precepts, the trainings. I was very touched when the young friend kneeled down to receive the trainings so that they have a path to follow. And that is how many in trainings? How many in precept? So we can nourish our path, our insight, and our future can be more beautiful. Number 4 is harmony in speech. Khẩu is the mouth speech. We want to use speech that bring harmony, and we avoid any speech that bring disharmony or argument. We are a practitioner, whether we are monastics or friends, lay friends. We are student of the Buddha. We are all student of the Buddha. So we all practice the Dharma. A practitioner, we don't argue, we don't dispute. We speak with gentleness, and we also we want to speak in a way that builds Sangha. We don't want to speak in a way that break the Sangha. Also, that doesn't bring harmony in the family. When we speak of this harmony, there is the 4 precepts, the 4 mindfulness training, deep listening. At the beginning is aware of our speech. The 4 mindfulness training, when we use loving speech, if we use loving speech, we will not bring harm to others. And sometimes, not intentionally, we say something not wholesome, and that can cause harm to the person that's listening to us. I want to give an example. There is
a child that discovered something, and then she or he was very happy and want to share that happiness with their parents. But the parent was busy or were having something unhappy, and then they didn't have enough space so that they can understand and receive the happiness of the child, and so that the child just start to share the happiness with the parents. And I wanted to share what they want. I would like to share this to you, dear Dad. So his or her mom and dad said that, go away, you have to go outside and play. I'm busy right now. And that child feel like unaccepted, and then feel so sad because of that response from the parents. But the reason is because the parents are busy and was occupied by the work and the projects. So the child came to the parent with that innocence, but after that, the child was scolded by the parent, and he or she feel very despaired and suffer. So that's why when we practice mindfulness training, and we receive the mindfulness trainings so that we can have more awareness, more mindfulness. And whenever we listen or listen something from others, and if we don't want people to speak such a way like that to us, we will make a commitment to not speak in that way to others. So that is the practice of receiving and practice the mindfulness trainings. So I would like to invite the Sangha to listen to one sound of the bell, and we will breathe together before we move to another topic. So the fifth harmony is
phải được tổng hợp nó lại, và nhưng mà mình không
I have it right
là
here.
người khác
Sharing insights and
nghe theo
understanding
cái ý của
together.
mình chưa chắc rằng là ý của mình là đúng.
So we have our own insights and point, viewpoints, but we share it out. But then we let go, but we're not too cling to that insights. We share so that we all can move forward in the practice. So our sharing will have to reconcile to build the progress of the practice.
Mình nên để cho mình lấy tổng hợp một cái ý kiến chung như vậy, nhưng mà mình đừng có cố chấp rằng là cái ý của mình đưa ra là đúng và tất cả mọi người đều phải nghe theo cái ý của mình. Mình giữ chắc cái ý của mình để mình
Respecting others' viewpoints and not forcing others to follow your own viewpoint. So all the viewpoints will be coming together, but we don't force others to follow our point of view, because it's not sure that our point of view is 100% right. So Buddha have taught that 99% of our perception is wrong perception. So we don't perceive that our point of view is not 100% correct. So because of the conflict and the discussing between right or wrong, so that it causes dispute. So that's why we have to go to one point of view. So we will practice in such a way that we can have a harmony in viewpoints, and we don't attach to our viewpoint, and we share that our viewpoint is right and others are wrong. And we see that our viewpoint is like that, and we attach to that, and people don't follow our viewpoints, we'll say that that person is stubborn, and we cause suffering to ourselves as well as others. So that's why the practice of harmony in viewpoints is very important in the Sangha life and also in the family. Everyone practices this practice. We listen to our own children, our husband, our wife, our partner, so that the atmosphere in the family will be better, more harmonious. So after this teaching, the Buddha shared six principles to live harmony with each other. the Buddha suggested this six harmonies to be applied in the Sangha life. So it's become a regulation of living together in the community, in the Sangha. So these are the six harmonies to live in the community that I would like to represent for the Sangha.
Thầy thì ở mình chỉ có thầy trò thôi, chỉ có thầy với trò thôi.
The day Thầy passed away, I always want to address my teacher as Thầy. I remember an article that I read. There was an article that a sister writes about Thầy. And all the letter that a disciple write, a letter for Thầy, will be collected in one book called Thầy Hand, My Hand in Thầy Hand. And that sister tell a story. She came from another tradition, and she came to Plum Village practice, and she had a habit to address Thầy as Sư Ông, grandfather teacher. And Thầy said that, please don't call me grandfather teacher, please call me Thầy. It means teacher. Thầy is more close. So Thầy asked her to change her way of addressing to Thầy from grandfather teacher to Thầy. So I also like to address my teacher Thầy. So I'm a disciple, a children of Thầy, and not only me, but all brothers and sisters and friends in this hall and also outside of this hall is also, you are all Thei's disciples. So today is 93 days since Thầy passing away, and I still use the term Thầy becoming the cloud. I like to use that expression, Thầy becomes the cloud rather than Thầy passing away, because the clouds will become rain, and rain will come to the plants and flowers and nourish the green. So we have a bandage out there called a cloud never dies. So we just sit still with our calm mind and clear mind, and we can see that cloud can sometimes change form into this form or that form. It doesn't have a particular form, and taste is also like that. Even though the physical body was passing away, but his Dharma body, living Dharma body, is still there, and all the teaching were given by Thầy are still there. So we have to practice in such a way that our spiritual life, our spiritual practice can grow day by day. I have a lot of stories to share about Thầy, my teacher, but the time is almost up. So I have a song to offer to the community. I would like to sing a song. This song is about after I have listened to Thầy Pháp Hoa sang many years ago, and he changed the lyrics a bit from river and ocean, from the Buddha and me. So I changed again from Buddha and me to Thầy and me. So this song will be about my teacher Thầy and me. So I had a chance to offer this song to Thầy already, but today I would like to offer this song to the Sangha, especially to my younger brothers and sisters. I haven't had a chance to see Thầy physically. Only have a chance to see Thầy through books and video tape, YouTube video. So I would like to offer this song to my younger brothers and sisters. And my singing is not really beautiful, but I'm an old nun, but I would like to sing wholeheartedly with all of my heart to offer to Thầy and also to the Mahasangha.
Em chưa từng thấy thầy, em chỉ biết hình thôi. Em có nghe thầy dạy, thầy thì ở trong em, thầy thì ở trong em, ở trong nhịp thở ra vào. Nếu ai sống trong vội vàng, thầy ẩn tàng đi thôi. Nếu ai bước trong an lạc, thầy biểu hiện muôn
Inside my
nơi.
breathing in and out.
Cần hát thêm lần nữa
If
nhé.
you live in hurry, then Thầy will not be there. If you live with peace, then He will be available everywhere.
Em có nghe thầy dạy, thầy thì ở trong em, thầy thì ở trong em, ở trong nhịp thở ra vào. Nếu ai sống trong vội vàng, thầy ẩn tàng đi thôi. Nếu ai sợ bước trong an lạc, thầy biểu hiện muôn nơi. Con kính chào đại chúng, con kính chúc đại chúng tu học vui.
If we live in a hurry, Thầy will disappear. If you live in peace, Thầy will appear. Thank you, Sangha. Thank you. May you have a joyful practice. Sư cô còn nói về cái 6 harmony nữa. Cái harmony thứ 6 nữa. Sư cô nói thứ 5 mà sư cô